can't accept the loss, I'm hard-headed. There's a little bit of madness to my method. Many falling off that fine line that I'm treading. I risk anything to be great, and I'm not letting nobody rob me of my victory. Number one, that's what I'm meant to be. When by any means, only thing that makes sense to me, I can make nice or make history. I got that dog.
Hey, welcome to the Rebuilding Futures podcast. I am your co-host, Kenneth Young. We have Elric Truvillion in the building. Aaron Charles is here. Chris Shankles will call in. So will Miss Grace. And today we have a special guest with us, Mr. Cyrus Gray. Cyrus, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the show.
Sunday.
Welcome to the show, Cyrus.
It's a good Sunday. Welcome to the show.
All right, so we just want to thank, first of all the listeners for, coming and giving us an opportunity to share with you. We know that your time is important and we value it immensely. So that's why we want to do the best we can to grab people and invite people that are going to come into the podcast that are making a difference in this life and have had some difference made in their life, right? It's one thing to greet you and just share, chit chat with you, talk about the holidays, wish you a happy Thanksgiving, but to have someone come in and offer you substance, that's the goal that we have in mind at the Rebuilding Futures podcast. We had some feedback in the past from a listener. She said, hey, well, just to be honest with you, some of the things that you guys share doesn't really have a lot to do with rebuilding a future. Well, I can agree with the fact that not everything we share is geared towards specifically rebuilding a future, because sometimes we want to model what a rebuilt future looks like for you. And so, we're here with this platform to get that done. But today it's not about the podcast itself. It's not about myself or how we feel or quite frankly, with nothing to you, how our listeners feel. It's about sharing the story of a man who is an overcomer. And so he was introduced as Cyrus Gray. I'll double back and introduce him as Cyrus L. Gray III, right? So that shows me a few things. That shows me someone who believed in legacy enough to pass a name on generationally 3 times now. We don't know if it's going to reach a 4th. That tape is still playing in the background right now, but we may get there. So thank you for coming in, Cyrus, and we are going to share your story today. And so what I like to do is just start off by talking about some of who you are, where you're from, and just give us the bio, the quick rundown.
Cyrus. I am originally from West Africa.
Okay, what part of West Africa?
Ivory Coast, Liberia area.
Ivory Coast, Liberia. I've been to Africa. I haven't been to Liberia. I went to Nigeria.
Sharks out there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I'm originally from West Africa. From West Africa, I moved to Chicago, stayed in Chicago a few years, then mostly grew up in Houston, Texas.
All right. So that's a well-traveled man right there. So what was that transition from Liberia to Chicago like? What was going on there?
Oh, it was cool. It was new. It was different. It was scary a little bit. Me and my brother flew by ourselves. Our parents were already in the States waiting for us. Getting to Chicago, still had a very strong accent. Still could speak a few other languages. Not no more though. But it was cool. It was cold as hell. Me and my brother fought a lot and fought a lot of people because we had very strong accents.
Right.
So, yeah.
So what languages do they speak in Liberia?
Hundreds.
Right.
It's hard to even tell you. It's hundreds. They speak English for sure. They speak French and just a bunch of dialects and languages from the origin and stuff. It's a bunch of different languages.
Okay. So you went from Liberia to Chicago to Houston, and you say you spent the bulk of your life in Houston. Now, I myself am a Houstonian, right? Love it. Background, big shot. Of course, you got to throw the H. Yeah. So,
watch yourself.
What about that Houston lifestyle? How did that take you? Because you really went from a place where people don't understand that Liberia, or at least what I experienced in Africa in general, is they move swiftly over there.
Oh yeah,
they move swift. Like we call a city fast, like Houston, Dallas, Chicago, but you went from a fast city to a fast city to a fast city. So how was that in Houston?
It was cool. Houston was a fast city, like you said, for one. Growing up, we always had what we needed, even though we were poor, we was broke. But we always had what we needed, and Mama found a way. You know what I mean? So I had a good group of friends growing up with. I was blessed. I met people that connected with me, and I connected with on a different level and had the same mind state as myself. We were on some trying to get wealthy, trying to take care of our family, trying to do right, playing ball, stuff like that. had every opportunity growing up to be the bad guy, like to be in the streets and be doing crazy shit, like. But
So let me drop a pin in the map just for all the folks who are familiar with Houston. So where in Houston did you grow up?
the north side,
The north side.
yeah. Moved around the city a lot when we first got there. Stayed on the west side, stayed in the southwest.
Okay.
Grew up in the north side pretty much. That's where I went to high school and everything.
Okay, got you, man. Got you. So I grew up Missouri City out there. Sure, you know where that's at, right? South side of the map. So let's talk about it. I mean, so what types of things were you into? Like when you were growing up, were you a star athlete, a star student? Were you just trying to make it? What was going on?
I was a star athlete, and I wouldn't say star student, very smart, intelligent, but I wasn't a great student. In high school, middle school, like, especially when you play ball, you kind of just get by. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
You really don't got to try too much. But, yeah, I played sports, focused on that, and just wrote down ideas. Like, from a very young age, I always had a business mindset and a mindset of wanting to elevate. So, yeah, I took most of my time just playing ball, trying to get to college, and working on plans for the future.
Right. Good stuff. So, man, entrepreneur spirit definitely is in your blood. I can tell it. You know, in the brief interactions that we had, you know, all the things that you got going on. When I hear you, it's kind of like an out of body experience because I get to experience what people do when I speak to them. Right. Sometimes people look at me and they say, "Man, you all over the place," but in my mind, you know, it's kind of organized in my mind. I just have to put it together. But you know, you're definitely a dreamer, and not just a dreamer, but also a doer, from what I understand. So, what are some of the things that you have already done, like in Houston, while you were coming up? Just give us some background.
While I was coming up in Houston, for one, I was a leader of my peers, and I was in the PALS program, so I was a mentor for elementary school kids and middle school kids. Aside from that, like I had a clothing brand I was building. I do personal training. That was like the big thing that I've done and do. I do personal training very good. I did physical therapy while I was in Houston. And I just did a lot to support like my mom, my little sister, and things like that in the household.
Right, good stuff, man. Okay, so then we know we're here for a specific talk.
Yeah.
Right, we're here for a very specific talk, and thank you for giving us your background and laying the foundation for us. But for the benefit of our listeners, you know, we want to make sure that we scoot along, and that we give you guys, you know, what the importance of this sit down is all about. So, Cyrus moved from Houston. Did you move from Houston to San Marcos, or you found yourself in San Marcos for some reason?
Yeah, I went to San Marcos to go to school, or Texas State, to go to school and for football. So out of high school, my senior year, I broke my hand.
Okay.
And I lost a lot of scholarship opportunities when I broke my hand. And that was the first time I experienced depression, because I played ball all my life. I was used to like having my way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I broke my hand, lost a lot of scholarships. At that point, I didn't apply for shit. Like I was like, it's over with. My life is done. Everything's down the drain.
Right.
And one of my close friends, a lot of my other friends, they was going off to play ball. So one of my close friends, he was going to Texas State on scholarship. And he was there over the summer, and he was like, "Bro, come out here. Like, they talking about you. Come out here." I'm like, "All right, bet." So I went out there and was planning to walk on and do all of that, but I just noticed, like, it's not the same. Like, you pay for who you want here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So instead, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to just be a student and experience college. So, yeah, that's what I did. So I ended up at Texas State because of my good friend and yeah.
Sure. So it's kind of ironic. Like last week, we had a gentleman on the podcast named Freddie Holly, and he ended up going from California to Hawaii on a scholarship, right? Football scholarship. And he talked about the challenges that he faced because he was an absolute great on the high school level.
Yeah.
And then when he got to college, he said the level of competition was totally different.
Yeah, everybody great. You know?
Right.
Right.
That's exactly what he stated, man. But just to have two people who went through similar things, and he talked about the mental struggle just like you did. And I was letting him know that I had a cousin at UTSA who was, very sharp in sports psychology and talked about how it affects a person. And it's different. So I actually had a guy that came in my office and he played baseball. He had a career in baseball, and he ended up having an injury as well. So, man, this dude is sitting back. He's retired at a young age, 35 years old. He's out of the Major League Baseball game, and he said that, man, the way that it affects you is something that is different than any other thing. It's like if you lose someone in your life and you have a hollow spot, a real athlete is going to have something like that going on. So, as a student in what is it called, Southwest?
Texas State now.
Texas State now. Okay, it used to be called Southwest. That's my old school coming out.
That's before my days.
Right. So Texas State, just going to school to be a student, doing the best you can. Tell us about some of those experiences and, what ultimately led you to the place that we're here to discuss today.
Oh, Texas State was live. Like, especially when I was there, Texas State was live. It's a great campus, great experience. Like, it was great people. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of fun. I missed classes a lot the first year.
I'm sure there may have been a few reasons to miss a few classes. The way he said it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Sure, there was some extracurricular things involved with a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
All right.
Yeah, it was a good campus.
Especially when you had your accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have my accent.
But he'll turn it on though, so he could be like Black Exotic. You know what I'm saying? You know how that stuff go. Everybody want to be Indian, but he'll put that little French on him a little bit, beaucoup l'argent and all of those stuff on him. Let's go.
Young foreign. Yeah, they like that. Yeah, they like that.
All right, so you had a lot of fun over there, and then man, we meet a very fateful day, a very pivotal day in your life where things changed for you.
Mm-hmm. So while at Texas State, my second close to third year, I was struggling a little bit in classes because, again, like I said, I missed a lot of classes.
Right.
I was just moving too fast. I was still moving as if I was playing football because that's what I was around. Like, all of my close friends playing ball. But the difference is I'm not playing ball no more. Like, these niggas got scholarships. They get stipends. They get all these things that as a walk-on you're not getting. So if you don't establish yourself firsthand, or if you don't have support from home, it's hard. You know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so once I started to see that, hey, this shit getting hard, just my living situation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's starting to affect my grades because of my living situation. I went back home. I went to Houston. Went back to Houston, got in school out there, and through that school, I got my job doing physical therapy and all that. I was at Texas State from 2013 to the spring of 15. Went home. And then when I was home, I would come back now and then just to visit my friends. I would take my girlfriend at the time to the river, just come out, just experience the town because it's a nice town.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then in 2015, December 2015, this kid, Justin, gets killed in a robbery. Nearly 3 years later, me and my good friend Devontae, who grew up together, nearly 3 years later, me and Devontae are getting arrested for this kid, Justin's murder. I'm at work. Devontae's at his mom's house with his 2-year-old son, Kazi. Hayes County pulls up to my job because they didn't have a warrant for my arrest, so they had to arrest me in a public place. They pull up to my job with their task force, bunch of big-ass white dudes with assault rifles and shit, walk in, army gear on. Oh, yeah, scary. So I'm the type of person, I know when things are
So, okay, I just want to make sure that I'm clear. So there was an incident, right, that, it's significant, right? Somebody lost their life, right? That's always a serious thing.
Yeah.
No one was initially arrested for that, I'm assuming.
No one was initially arrested. And then nearly 3 years later, me and Devontae get accused and arrested for it.
And you said with no warrant, no warrant for the arrest, and so they arrested you in a public place.
Yes, sir.
So I guess my confusion, first of all, I'm sorry that you went through that. It had to be a traumatic experience, but I guess my confusion is how can you be arrested when there's no warrant for your arrest? I don't understand that part.
So if a detective, an officer, whatever, believes that there's probable cause to arrest you for something,
right,
they can go arrest you. But
without a warrant.
Without a warrant. But it has to be in a public place, and they have to have probable cause. In my situation, their probable cause to arrest me was the fact that my phone was pinging in San Marcos around the time of the murder.
Okay.
That was the biggest piece of evidence that roped me and Devontae into this case and charge.
There's a lot of phones pinging in San Marcos at the time, though. Like,
Most definitely.
Hundreds of thousands of phones at the same time.
The thing with San Marcos, Hayes County, like their police, SMPD out there, they have a very negative image of people from Houston. Like, if you're from Houston, the chief of police said it a few months ago, and I got on his ass about it when I asked him about it. He's like, he made a statement that people are coming here from Houston to commit violent crimes.
Yeah.
Now, I got on him about it because, for one, I'm from Houston, and I've gone through the process of being accused by y'all. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sitting in your jail for years and years and years, and y'all telling me, "Oh, you never going home. You might as well go take that 45." You know what I mean? Ooh. I went through the process, and being from Houston, being somebody that had every chance in the world to do a lot of fucked up shit, and decided I'm gonna do this instead, and to still go through that process. Oh yeah, it bothered me, especially being from Houston. So I asked him about it. I was like, "Hey, why did you make that statement about people from Houston? You said people from Houston are coming here to commit violent crimes. Like, that's not true. Like, you just put a target on every student back from Houston. You just put a target on everybody's back from Houston who may have just came to San Marcos for a new opportunity of life.
Right, you know to get away from the big city and do something a little bit different.
Right.
Yeah, and he's all like, "No, I never said that." I'm like, "Bro, yes, you did. Look, it's right here. You said that." "Well, that's not what I meant. We did a study, a 2-year study and a 10-year study, and it showed that this percentage of people in the jail are from Austin that have these crimes. This percentage of people in the jail are from Dallas that have these crimes, and this percentage of people are from San Antonio and Houston that have these crimes." And yeah, I said, "Okay, but that's not what you said, bro. Like, you specifically said people from Houston are coming here. You ain't say we did a 10-year study and it's showing that 11% of people in the jail are from Austin and San
Right, nothing to qualify.
Yeah, you ain't say none of that. You just focused on Houston. And that's been the culture of policing in San Marcos since I was a student there.
Yeah, since before then.
Yeah,
since before then, actually. So let's to keep the timeline consistent. Okay, so you're in Houston. This is 3 years after Justin lost his life due to violence, and so you're arrested by Hayes County Task Force. Mm-hmm. They come pick you up in a public place, and then what's that look like after that?
The task force and their detectives, Sandra Spriegel, lead detective, Patrick Aubrey, Dave Campbell, they are terrible people. They pull up to my job. The task force comes in, the gun is drawn. I'm setting up a table for a patient. "Hey, Cyrus Gray, don't move."
Wow.
That's all they said. I'm standing there like, why would I move? Y'all got guns.
Right. So the last thing I'm going to do is move, right? I'm trying to figure out who you came to get.
What? Crazy.
Yeah. Right.
I'm standing there, they come grab me, walk me through the building. "Oh, so glad you didn't resist." Why would I resist? You guys have assault rifles.
Right.
Walk me through the whole building for everybody to see. Walk me to the front. Put me in the van in the front.
So was you handcuffed at that time?
Yeah, I'm cuffed.
Yeah.
I'm looking like that. I'm sad. I'm the fuck.
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
Yeah, cuffed up. Walk me through the building. Put me in the van. Sandra Spriegel get to trying to ask me about Devontae. I'm like, "Hey, I need a lawyer."
Right.
Y'all didn't come here to help me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you had every opportunity to call me. You had every opportunity to do this the right way. You pulled up while I'm at work with a bunch of big dudes and an assault rifle. You ain't come here to help me. What I'm gonna talk to you for?
Right. So what's going through your mind at that time when you know that they're there for you? They take you out. They put you in the back of the cruiser. You've got handcuffs on. Did they say, "Hey, we're here to arrest you for a certain crime," or what was that about?
They just kept trying to ask me about Devontae first off, and then eventually like, "Oh yeah, you're under arrest for capital murder."
Huh?
Yeah, I'm like, "Murder? You're under arrest for capital murder?" So I'm just sitting there confused as fuck. Like, there's really nothing going through my mind. I'm just like, when I'm in a situation where it's like pressure or a situation like that, I lock in, I focus. So
right.
My mind is blank. Like, I'm paying attention to what's going on.
You got to.
Because like, I don't know what the fuck's finna happen. So they put me in the van. They shoot out of Houston as fast as possible and stop in Silly, which is like 30, 40 minutes out of Houston.
Right.
They stop in Silly.
You say they put you in a van?
Mm-hmm. In a soccer van, mom's soccer van, yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't a police car?
It wasn't in a cop car.
So you was kidnapped?
Oh, yeah, most definitely kidnapped.
So wait. I'm trying to follow the story and I'm trying to be on point as possible.
Yeah.
The police dressed up as the police?
The police dressed up.
Or was it a task force?
The task force dressed up like this is Call of Duty. Walk in, walk me out. put me in the van.
Speak into the mic a little bit.
My bad. The task force dressed up like it's Call of Duty, walked in, walked me out, put me in the van, and they disappeared. The lead detective, Sandra Spiegel, Dave Campbell, and Patrick Aubrey is involved too. They were all, Sandra Spiegel and them were outside sitting in the van. They got me in the van trying to ask me stupid questions. She's like, I don't have no answers for you. And then we shoot out of Houston. They stop in Silly. And we sit in Silly for like 20, 30 minutes for SMPD, San Marcos PD patrol car to meet there. And then they put me in the patrol car, and the patrol car takes me the rest of the way to San Marcos. We get to San Marcos. It's 2 cops in the car. One of them is trying to go home because his shift's over. So they go to Popeyes while I'm in the back hotel, get them some food. And then
Wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute, man.
Yeah, they go to Popeyes.
So now they didn't pick you up in the soccer mama car.
Yeah.
A van.
Swap me out in the patrol car.
Then swapped you out.
Yeah.
And then one of the officers figured that, hey, man, I've been on, the time my shift about to end. Stop over here at Popeyes and let me grab a bucket of chicken so I can take home to the wife and kids.
Yeah, I think that qualifies as torture. They know they got a black man handcuffed with Popeye's chicken in the car. I think that is that's something that's beyond reasonable measures of policing right there, in my opinion.
It's crazy.
We joking about it, but I mean, it's serious.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm glad we're here to laugh about it now because
me too.
What's actually at this point in time, what in the hell is going through your mind? Because we hadn't went to the police, we hadn't went to jail. We making all these stops and doing all these things.
Right.
How are you able to stay focused?
I'm tired. I have to stay focused. I don't know what's going on. I have to survive this. I can't afford to not pay attention. I can't afford to do anything except for lock in right now at this moment and make sure I'm paying attention to every detail of what's happening. Because I'm no dummy. I know you got to do your job a certain way.
Right.
I can't afford to miss anything. I gotta pay attention. Literally, like when I say nothing is in my mind at this time, nothing is going through my mind. I'm just paying attention.
Right.
You know
right. I can see that.
Watching what's going on.
I can see that. Just taking it in.
Yeah. You went to Popeyes, got your boy some food. You done dropped your boy off at his apartment. I know where he lived. Like you doing stupid things. You know what I mean? With me in the car. Drop your boy off at his apartment, and then you take me back to the jail after all that.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm just back there. I'm just paying attention. That's all I can do right now. I got to wait to see what's going on. I got to see what's up.
Got to. You know, it's a tough one for me, Cyrus, because I was arrested. My original arrest was for capital murder as well. Yeah. Right? And so, you know, I was ultimately convicted of aggravated robbery, but my arrest was for capital murder, man. And I'm just telling you, the difference between knowing that you participated in something and knowing that you didn't, it's got to be light years apart from each other, right? Like I knew that I deserved what was coming. So my arrest was a little bit different. You know, I didn't give them the opportunity to, apprehend me. My grandfather was Harris County Sheriff, right? Talked to him, talked to a lawyer, did all that stuff, and ultimately turned myself in. And that was a tough one right there because I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna be in prison for the rest of my life, so I might as well get as much of this outside as I possibly can. Yeah. Thankfully, man, by the grace of God alone, I'm sitting here right now with you, and we're able to share this moment. Mm-hmm. So, man, tell me from the Popeyes chicken incident. Sound crazy to even have to say that, right?
But it's true.
We might get you an endorsement, man. You got a hell of a smile, man. We might get you smiling with a bucket of chicken from Popeyes. Get you a check. Yeah. So we gonna get you some chicken, boy.
Spice of miles.
Right. So you're at the Popeyes, and what's going on? Like, when do you actually get booked into a jail so that you know what you're being charged with, and you can contact somebody so that your family knows what's going on with you?
So I don't get from the time of my arrest to getting booked in. San Marcos is like 2.5 away from Houston. They
2 hours.
They booking it on the road. From that time of me making it to San Marcos, it probably took like another 45 to an hour for me to be actually taken to the jail.
Okay. Never
was questioned about anything. Nothing. Never interrogated. None of that. They just came, kidnapped me and DJ Devontae, kidnapped us, sat us in the jail, and hoped that they could build a case while we were sitting there.
So you were in 2 different places. Devontae was in a different location
Devontae got arrested at a different location, and his arrest was worse than mine, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because Devontae could have lost his life, and his son could have lost his life.
Okay.
Devontae is putting his 2-year-old son Kazi in the car. He's leaving his mom's place, putting his son in the car. And Sandra Spiegel, Dave Campbell, their task force, they jump out of this van on Devontae in the state of Texas, where it's legal to carry firearms. In Houston, Texas, in an area where people are already on their toes.
Right.
You jumping out of a car with assault rifles at this man with his 2-year-old son. Devontae loves his family. If Devontae had a firearm on him, as he rightfully can in the state of Texas, him and his son would have got killed right there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a tough
So
situation.
did they announce that they was police officers?
Nothing. They didn't announce themselves as police at all. At all. And when they arrested Devontae, Sandra Springer, the lead detective, tells Devontae, oh, yeah, we don't know who did this, but somebody is going down for this kid's murder.
So y'all was kidnapped and just put in a situation.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Because our phones were pinging in San Marcos and traveling from San Marcos to Houston around the time of this murder. That's their big piece of evidence for our case. What they neglected to say, which I found out during trial, because the whole time I'm in jail, I'm dealing with bullshit court-appointed attorneys that are not here to help me. So I don't even know much about my case until I go to trial. But it's like, shit, I got to go to trial. I'm not finna.
Right.
I can't just sit here and let y'all take my life from me. Like, nah, you're going to have to fight for that. I got to go to trial. So, yeah.
And see, that's what they're trying to do. They're making you fight for your freedom.
Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm still not free. I'm out of jail. My case was dismissed a few months ago, but I'm not free. Like, my case was dismissed in a way that they can come back and try to do this all over again.
But didn't you already spend 5 years incarcerated?
Yes, sir.
So you spent 5 years incarcerated, and you're saying that they can come back and try you again. How does that even work?
You can get taken to trial as many times as the state wants to, especially for a charge like mine. It's a capital murder charge. There's no statute of limitation.
But so for clarity though, so you were arrested for capital murder. You spent 5 years incarcerated. Mm-hmm. You're here with us right now. Yep. So something happened in between that time. How can you be out of jail? You were arrested for capital murder, spent 5 years incarcerated. So how can you be out right now and walking this part of the like? I don't understand that. Break that down for me.
I fought hard as hell. Like while I was in jail, I'm locked in. I'm not here to waste time. I'm not playing around with people. I'm not doing none of that shit. Like, I got in a lot of fights because, like, I'm not finna play with you. I'm locking in. I'm trying to get home. So I spent a lot of time educating myself on the law, and I spent a lot of time, if I'm not learning how to win this and get home to my family, I'm working on a plan to make money when I get home, because in my mind, I'm going home. Like, if I got something to say about, I'm going home. Like, you know what I mean? So that's how I spend my time, like, learning, educating myself on the law, helping the people around me with their situations as much as I could, the ones that would let me, helping them as much as I could, and just making plans. I wrote 4 movies in there, created a whole cartoon with 3 seasons and like 200 characters, drama. Like, I'm in here trying to cook shit up.
Right.
I got to get back to my people, like, and I got to make sure when I get home that they good, because a lot of shit went bad for a lot of people in my life and Devontae's life when we got arrested, because we were always those guys that's finna go get shit done.
So he's still
in there, yeah. They plan on taking him to trial next October. Devontae is still in there because when my case got dismissed, right when the state dismissed my case, they asked Devontae to testify against me. They offered him 15 years to testify against me in a second trial, because I was supposed to go to a second trial. He told them no. Then they dismissed my case as a result of me filing a motion for my case to be dismissed with prejudice due to my speedy trial rights being violated. The judge was agreeing with me. Had the judge granted my motion, I'd be free. But,
so does he have the same opportunity to submit?
Yeah, he has. He does have the same opportunity, and he has submitted it. And right now, like, I just signed some paperwork yesterday. I'm actually on his legal defense team now.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, once I wrote the motion up and I sent it in, immediately I sent him a copy.
Right.
And I sent everybody who I fuck with that I know have, like, this can apply to. I sent them a copy.
Right.
Because the thing is, when you're in jail, your situation affects everybody in here with you, not just yourself.
Grace, she came on and had a comment. She said she wanted to apologize for the prejudice of justice that's being done to you. So
yeah,
you want to comment to her?
Yeah, Grace, to answer your question, how has this changed your perspective on the justice system and faith in your community policing? I've never had faith in police. I know the history of police. So me as a black man, I've never had faith in police. I've never had faith in the justice system in America. Like, I've gone through both sides of the experience now. I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I remember driving hours to take my cousin to court, like 4 or 5 hours away from Houston because he got in a situation. I remember driving to Harris County Jail to go see my brother Tommy because him and his brother got in a situation while I was at school. I remember that. I remember sitting in that line, sitting there for 15 minutes just to see my boy because he's sitting in here. And I know and remember the experience of being in there as well. You know, so I've never had faith in the justice system or policing. How it's changed me in that sense now I'm just determined to beat all of them.
Right.
Like, honestly, like, I'm determined to go all out.
So you still fighting for your freedom. You still fighting for your respect.
Yeah.
So you was not born in the States.
No, sir.
So they picking on you because you have a passport.
Well,
No, I don't even have a passport right now. I just now got form of identification 2 weeks ago. I'm still trying to get my life back on track to being a normal person in society.
Right.
There's so many obstacles I'm still having to go through right now just to be a normal person.
you went to court, right, and then you had a trial.
Yeah, I had a trial.
Okay, so walk us through that. Not every little nuance of it, but so you came up after 5 years of being incarcerated, had a trial. So how did that go? Like, what's the result of that?
My trial ended in a mistrial. My trial was nearly a month long. 2.5 weeks of that was the state putting on a show for this jury, just beating the same information into their heads that doesn't really say Cyrus Gray and Devontae Emerson committed a capital murder, right? The prosecutor's opening statement at my trial, he puts a picture of a gun on the projector. It's a puzzle piece. It's a bunch of pieces missing in this puzzle piece. He tells the jury, I want y'all to look at that. Look at that right there. Y'all see what that is, right? Everybody can tell what that is. There's a bunch of pieces missing, but we can still tell what that is, right? Well, that's what we have here with this case. There's a whole lot we don't know, but based off of what we think happened, you'll be able to convict Mr. Gray of capital murder.
Wow.
So his
That's the opening statement.
right.
Like it has to be beyond reasonable doubt. They can't be beyond reasonable doubt.
You would think.
His whole argument is we don't know who did this, but we want to put enough things in front of you to get you to just say yes to this guy going to prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's not even about guilt or innocence at this point. It's about, right, who has the most compelling argument and how colorful I can be.
Hey, trial is a joke. Like, if you've ever gone to trial or if you ever had a question about it, trial is a joke. It's a scary joke, but it's a joke. Like, I'm sitting in here like, there's no way this is happening. There's no way this lead detective just got up here and said, oh, yeah, by the way, we lost nearly a dozen important witness interviews to this case. Oh, yeah, by the way, we lost one of the only 2 police reports to this case. Oh, yeah, one of my friends that I played ball with at school he got a immunity deal to testify against me, right? They're like, oh, yeah, by the way, he has an immunity deal to testify, but we lost the paperwork, so we don't know what the deal is for. We don't know what it is, but it's okay. And I'm sitting here like, there's no way this trial is going to continue with all these things that these people are saying.
Right.
I look over at my judge playing Candy Crush.
Right, because it's
Just hanging out.
Yeah, because it's no way. Nobody can believe none of this is what's going on.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So they came back. So they did what they needed to do. 2 weeks of the show. They gave them the show, and then we get to a point of jury deliberation.
Jury deliberated for 4 days, I believe, and then 2 or 3 of the jurors caught COVID, and as a result of that, the judge gave us an option, which the DA is like, let's just wait 10 days and come back. Let's just wait and come back. I'm like, no, sir. Mistrial. Like, if that's the other option, then do the mistrial. And if we got to come back, we can come back and start all over. We're not finna wait 10 days. I just sat through trial for nearly a month. My lawyer advocated for me for an hour in this whole trial. Bro didn't do shit. I just sat here for nearly a month, and you want me to wait 10 days for these 12 people to go home, do their research after all this bullshit they seen, and then come back and make a decision based off of emotion, rather than off of the facts of this case.
Right, newspaper articles, family statements, all that type of stuff.
Like, nah, mistrial. So the judge filed the mistrial. And mind you, like, the whole time I'm in jail until like 2-3 months after my trial, I'm in jail without a bond. Me and DJ are in jail. Like, we can't get out. Like, we're just sitting here. We done got sat down, and they just trying to choke us out and hope we tap out. I don't have no bond. So I have to sit here and go through this process. I have to go through trial. You know, I didn't get a bond until November 2022.
So how long you had been in there then?
I had been at that time. I had been in there for about 5 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
you
you're
had
right at
been
5 years,
incarcerated
bro.
for 5 years before you even got
No bond. Mm-hmm. 5 years waiting for trial. No bond. Devontae's still sitting in there.
So he's kidnapped.
Kidnapped.
He's not arrested. He's kidnapped.
He's not arrested. He's kidnapped. Sandra Spiegel, Dave Campbell, Patrick Aubrey, and their task force kidnapped me and Devontae Emerson, sat us down, and try to build a case on us while we're sitting in jail, hoping that they can get something to get this conviction.
And they didn't. So you ultimately had a mistrial declared, right? You got that accomplished.
Got the mistrial declared.
Does that make sure you go home at that point? Do they?
I mean, you would think I had the mistrial, and I go back to the jail. I'm still sitting there for months. I'm still sitting there. They're trying to set another trial date for me. I'm sitting there. A few months go by, and then I have 2 bond hearings. The first one, me and Devontae get a bond. His bond is set at $500,000. Mine set at $250,000.
Wow!
Because I've gone to trial.
Right.
That's why. That's the only reason mine was lower, because I went to trial.
Right.
And he hasn't yet. So my second bond hearing, my bond gets reduced to like $75,000. And I ended up being able to get bonded out by the people that were supporting me and my family.
Right. So I think I missed a moment just a second ago. You said that there was another person that had an immunity deal that was worked out. So was there a third person arrested in this situation?
No, sir. Just me and Devontae. It was alleged 3 suspects for the crime.
Okay.
But only me and Devontae were arrested for this crime.
So a third person.
And they like for the longest, even during trial, they're like, yeah, we know who the third person is. We know exactly who he is.
So immunity from what then?
Exactly. I don't know. They lost the paperwork, and that was apparently okay in the state of Texas in an open courtroom.
Man, I can't believe I'm listening.
They lost the paperwork, and they're brazen enough to come up here and say all these crazy ass things because they know like it don't matter.
They literally got up there on stand, being recorded.
Yeah.
And said,
I got the transcript. I still got my whole
on the transcripts. They saying that they lost the most invaluable piece of evidence.
So the thing that I'm thinking the whole time you're sitting over here speaking to us, Cyrus, is that you're not the only one, right? Not just Devontae, but also there are other people, other cases that are very similar to this, whether they be all the way to the degree of capital murder or just some petty things. Yeah. There's constantly people that are being arrested and taken to jail to have to face a justice system that's not interested in whether or not these people are actually guilty, but more so having a conviction rate. Right, through the DA's office, right? The ADAs, they want their conviction rate to be stellar. And so because of the way that they move up in their career to become, judges and things like that, they want a great conviction rate. And so it seems like they're chasing that down rather than chasing justice, man. That's a shameful thing,
It's shameful. And like in my mind, looking at the way the court systems work in Hayes County, because I'm sure, like, there's other places where it's terrible too. But looking at how the court system works in Hayes County, in my mind, it's like, damn, why are you still in this career? Like, right? Because inevitably, at some point, doing a job like that, you're gonna get to a point where you get numb of this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where now these aren't people you're dealing with, these are cases and numbers.
Right.
You feel me? And I feel like once you've gotten to that point mentally, you should be righteous enough to be like, hey, I need to step back and retire because these are people's lives you're playing with.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's unpack it real quick because, as you were talking, I'm going through it in my mind. Okay, we've got the task force that showed up that came to get you.
The kidnappers.
Right. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, I just want to kind of dissect it, right? Mm-hmm. So the task force they're only coming out to do what they've been commissioned to do by someone else, right? So in my mind, the task force, as long as they didn't do anything to violate your rights or, harm you in any way, so they're on the outside of what it looks like to have an injustice served to you, right? Because they just follow the direction of somebody else. Yeah. Right. So then you have two very specific offices that stand out to me here. It's going to be the detectives, right? And then it's going to be the district attorney's office.
Right.
Most important right here because the detectives come up with whatever information they can, whatever evidence they can. They present it to the district attorney's office. The district attorney says, hey, we're good to go. You can go get this guy. And we'll what is it called? We'll indict him, right? If you arrest him, we'll indict him.
Yeah.
Right. So those two offices right there are the two most important in this situation.
Right.
And so those people, in my opinion, have to have enough evidence to get you convicted if everything works like it's supposed to in the American justice system. But since they don't, they threw the puzzle up there. You went through the whole trial, declared a mistrial, and you're in jail for another couple of months?
Yeah, like another 3-4 months.
Another 3-4 months, you make bond. Boom, you're home. So
on bond, got an ankle monitor on, 11 p.m. curfew, can't communicate with anybody that was subpoenaed for trial.
Right. Devontae?
Oh yeah, I can't communicate with Devontae at this time either. And can't communicate with any of my friends that were called here to testify, all of that. And this is how crazy my trial was. They got the witnesses that are called here to testify for trial in the same room before and after their testimony, and they're encouraging them to communicate. Because because bro that got the immunity deal, he needs somebody to corroborate his story.
Right.
So they're encouraging them to communicate. Right. And he's trying to convince my brother Damon. He's like, man, the only reason we're here is because of Cyrus, da-da-da-da-da. And Damon is like, bro, no, the only reason we're here is because of you. Like, you lied to these people. Like, you've affected 15 of our lives for the past decade because you just won't tell them the truth. Like,
so he had something going on totally separate from this, and his way out of it was to say, yeah, I heard about the situation, and this, that, whatever he told him.
Yeah, bro wasn't in the right state of mind himself neither. At this point, he became addicted to pills because he had just suffered a sports injury too. And like you said, that psychology is no joke. Like, it really fucks with you. He had just suffered that. He's on pills now. He coked up, doing all types of shit. So he's not in the right mind. So
right.
When police come knocking at his door, in his mind, damn, they got to be here for me. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, when my boy Damon went to see him, this is all way before I'm even arrested. When my boy Damon went to see him about it, because he sent the police to go talk to Damon and all types of crazy shit. Damon gets there, and he knocks on the door, and bro, like, gets up in full sprint, 340 out the back door. Like,
paranoid.
Damon got to chase him down. Damon chase him down. Like, bro, like, what you doing? He's like, man, they know everything. They da-da-da-da-da. He tripping. He's tweaking. He's not in his right mind. So they took advantage of that, and they manipulated and used him, put him in a fucked up position.
Right.
And self-perseverance is a real thing. Not everybody's going to die for you.
Right. Man, so we've got you at this point understanding that you weren't up against any one specific person, but against the machine.
Oh, yeah.
An established institution. Right, and they've got all the tricks. They know the law. They understand the law. They advocate for different things, nuances within the law, in order to make it tougher for people in your situation to make it out.
Yeah,
and so some of the pitfalls are just not having enough information on our side. So Grace is asking, what things did you do to stay sane and grounded mentally, understanding that you had an entire institution against you?
Yeah. Yeah, I decided to learn myself more. Like, I just focused on my mind. And like I said, I spent a lot of time to myself. Like, if I'm not learning something about the law, I'm putting together a play to try to get rich when I get home. If I'm not doing that, I may come play spades to gamble a little bit, run up some soups or something.
Right.
But the majority of my time, like, I'm trying to better myself. I'm spending my time trying to grow.
Hold on, they laughing now. But listen, man, this running up these soups is real when you're gone.
Oh, it's real. That's
all you got, baby.
Them soup's expensive. Like, even in H-Count, like, one ramen noodle soup gonna cost you $1.10.
Come on now.
You can get a box of them bitches out here for like a quarter or something.
Right,
you know
right.
So it's real. So the time,
so it's real.
It's real. Like, and the thing, when I was in jail, the dudes that was around me, my little bro Tay, he's still in here. My boy Miles, my boy Freddie, he's in prison right now. My boy D is out on bond as well. Cold ass barber. If you're in San Marcos, go get a cut.
I might get a beard trim or something.
Beard trim, all that. My boy D is a beast. The Mac Lounge, San Marcos. If you dare, go.
All right.
But we are connected to the point where, like, if one of us is down and out, hey bro, come on. All right, come on, I got you. We gonna go play spades, we gonna play poker, whatever. We finna run it up.
Right.
You know what I mean? We finna go whoop this dude and get $100 out of you within this next hour and a half, just playing spades, playing poker. My boy Freddie, little bro, killing stuff. Like, he's making $200-300 in here a week just off of spades and poker, just gambling. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
that's good. That's good money in there. I'm just telling y'all right now. If I don't know, that $200-300 is good money.
Wait, money. I want to cut you off right here because you brought me back. You brought me back to remembering. You said soups is $1.
$1.10 in there.
I'm gonna show you the time span When I was there, it was 25 cents.
That's what I'm saying.
So inflation is still going up. Now watch this. And I'm gonna tell you what's still going on too to this day, and I like it. And it's been going on. Our ancestors used to do this as well. When you see someone's down and out, you come to them and bring them up, just like you said your partner did. He came to you, say, man, he seen you down, going through something. He tell you, get your mind out the world. Come on, man, let's go run this game to keep you motivated.
Yeah,
we take that same energy and that same play out here in the world. And when you see somebody down and out, you still want to do that same thing
definitely.
to them.
You just said something that I hated so much when I was in jail. I hated it so much. Get your mind out the world. Like, I hate that so much, bro, because this is not my world.
Right.
Why would I take my mind away from my world to get comfortable with being in this world? This is not my world. I got to keep my mind in the world, because if I take my mind away from there, I'm going to start to lose focus, and I'm going to start to, it's going to be easier for me to lose here.
Right.
I can't get comfortable.
That's right. That's right. So something I share with people, Cyrus, is that even though I'm not going back to prison, jail, or anything like that, as somebody who's committed to the institution, I'll go in and serve those people. Yeah. But one thing that was an advantage to me being here now is that I had time away from the world to actually really get to know myself and process information and, like you said, put plans together. But really, as part of putting the plans together, what I learned was that solitude has value, and that taking the time to organize my thoughts and come at life a certain way. The education that I got in doing that while I was incarcerated is amazing, because I know people who are home now, it doesn't matter how much money they got or anything like that, or me or any of that, but just the way that we deal with life is a little bit different now, right?
Different, so different. Like,
so you found the value in that as well.
Yeah.
Man, so let me point out some highlights really quick, if you don't mind. So you work with the Austin Justice Coalition, Texas After Violence Project, the Fair Defense Project, Vera Institution of Justice, the Innocence Project, and Professor Matthew Clare at Stanford University.
Matthew Clare, bro, that dude right there, this dude came out of nowhere. I saw him on TMZ talking about his book, Privilege and Punishment. He did a research study when he was a student and wrote this book, and it was like just spot on with what I was going through in the legal system. So I found his address and I wrote him. Around this time, COVID had just hit hard, so everything shut down. Around this time, I'm also writing like hundreds of other people's, because like I said, I done wrote movies and all these things. I'm writing Tyler Perry, 50 Cent. Like, I'll write everybody I can think of. Regina King, I'm writing everybody. So because I'm not a ask for a handout type of person. So I did these things first, and then I start reaching out, like, hey, this is my situation. I have this idea that I just created. I'm willing to give this to you to help me with my situation, whatever. I'm doing all this type of shit like that. So I write Matthew, and I'm like, hey, I just saw you on TMZ talking about your book, and it sounds exactly like what I'm dealing with, and I feel like there's information there that can help me. Would you mind sending me the book? So like a year goes by. He gets the letter, writes me, because everything shut down at the time. So the letter is just sitting at campus in his mailbox. He gets the letter, writes me back. Like, man, it's crazy when I got your letter, because like I had a cousin that was going through the same thing. I saw him in court. He's from Chicago. I saw him in court, and I'm like, man, this dude looks familiar. I didn't know he was my cousin at the time. And he's like, I was just so stuck in myself. I didn't want to go reach out and like talk to him. And then a few weeks or so goes by, and my cousin gets killed in jail. Wow. So when I got your letter, for me, it was like, damn, this is my chance to do something where I didn't before. So got that letter, wrote me back, locked in with me. He was putting money on my books, answering all my calls, everything. I ended up publishing an article with Harvard with him while I was incarcerated.
It's amazing, man. Yeah. That's amazing. So we have you here. Yes, sir.
Aaron, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Just thinking about, I have kids your age. Yeah. So my son is actually older than you. And we talk about the importance of this is your time to invest, and not necessarily monetary, but your time to invest in what you're going to be in the future. Yeah. So how do you invest in your future when it seems like you've already lost 5 years and they still have you on hold? Yeah. So what is it that you do to plan a life for Cyrus Gray at 35 and 40 while they still have you essentially on hold of life right now?
Well, first off, I focus on the things that I can control, and I had to learn that hard, like while I was locked up. just because there's so much you can't control. It's so much like you're helpless. And I had to learn to just lock in and focus on the things that I do have control over and just leave what I don't have control over to my creator. You know? And that's what helps me with that. Just focus on what you can. And I learned to pay attention to the little blessings in my life because like we get blessings every single day, but it's hard to recognize them sometimes. Like I really learned to recognize the little blessings in my life, and that helped me to stay on track too. Like, from the smallest thing, like one day I'm in SAG, I get sent to SAG for 60 days, administrative SAG, no visitation, no commissary, no phone privileges, nothing. I may go outside for 30 minutes to an hour if they remember to take me out once a week, right? I'm in SAG, and I'm drawing characters in my little cartoon. It's my day to go outside. It's raining hard as fuck outside. Dude comes, like, hey man, shit, it looks like Jesus don't want you to go outside today.
Oh man.
I just looked at him like, bro, I'm finna make Jesus smile today.
Right.
Boom, he come get me, he open the door, it stops raining. Like, it stops raining.
Right.
The sun come out. The whole time I'm out there shooting the ball around by myself, doing push-ups, shooting the ball around. And it took like 30 minutes in for me to realize what happened there.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I'm looking up like, damn, bro, like, it stopped raining, like, for real. For me to come out here. Yeah, for me to have this time. And that's a blessing. That's a small thing, but it's like, that's a big blessing.
It's a big blessing. It's huge. I'm going to share this with you. Sometimes you hear things in the faith system that if you don't experience it yourself, you would, well, for me, if I didn't see it and, I didn't experience it, then it'd be tough for me to believe. I went to Africa. I told you earlier, I went to Nigeria and we went to go visit a town where basically their spiritual father resided. They call him the spiritual grandfather. I mean, lineage in this thing, right? And so when we were there on top of the mountain, once in a lifetime opportunity for most people, and we're walking over to a well that, God blessed them with, and it starts to rain. So the man, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I'll probably never see it again. The man literally looks up at the sky, says, I command you right now in the name of Jesus to stop raining, to remove yourself. Bro, I'm going to tell you this, bro. Dark clouds all around everywhere. The rain is coming down. The rain is coming in. As soon as a man said it, not 3 minutes later, not, in about 15 minutes, we're going to give it some time and see what God got to say about it. Immediately, bro, the rain just went away. Yeah. So when God is with you, God is with you. Oh, yeah. There's some things that he'll show you to let you know that he is always by your side and he'll always be with you.
Definitely.
Right?
And listen, like, I done learned, like, I done figured some shit out. Like, I'm one of his favorites. Like, I done figured that out.
Hey, I feel the same way. I'm one of his favorite, too. I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's like, what can stop you once you done figured that out? You feel me?
So we're home, man. And, we talked about the time that we had spent away, being able to, get some self-reflection, build ourselves up, and be ready for the world. But now we've got Devontae that's still there. Yeah. Right. So he hasn't gotten that breath of fresh air and that sweet relief of even on his best day of feeling like he's not stressed out in there, knowing, since he comes home, knowing that even on those days he was extremely stressed and in duress. Right. He hasn't had that feeling yet. So what is it that we can do on behalf of somebody like Devontae to give him some assistance while he's still incarcerated? Is there anything that we can do for him?
Yeah, show up for him. We have a Act Blue fundraiser account set up for Devontae as well to help with his legal fees. We're able to get him a team of attorneys and all that, so we're taking care of things like that. And just show up, like answering his call. If you know a DJ and he's calling you, answer the phone. If you know anybody in jail and they call you, answer the phone. Sometimes you can't, sometimes you don't have the money for it. Right. Like, it's been a lot of times when my little bro Tay's calling me and I'm like, damn, I don't got it. I'm sick. I'm mad because I know what it's like. Like, I've been in there. I know what it's like. Those little things, like, it's such a huge impact for a person going in there.
So with the Act Blue fundraiser, how can we assist? Like, what way do we pour into that?
So I have a link for a Linktree account that has the Act Blue link, and I'll get it to you here. It has the Act Blue link, and it has a magazine that I made with more information about Devontae and his situation, and it has a few publications that were written about Devontae and his situation. So I'll get that link to you as soon as this.
And we'll post it.
All right. So in just to kind of put a bow on everything, thank you first of all for walking us all the way through what was going on and answering the questions. What I like to do, Ken kind of gave me a lead off to it, but something I like to do with any guest that comes in here is have you speak directly to the people who are in a circumstance like yours, whether that's you can pick a spot and then kind of walk through it, right? If they're in a situation where maybe they went to school and they're not in the place that they thought that they would be in, and life has changed for them, speak to that person. If they're in incarceration and they are wrongfully accused of something, or if they're in incarceration and they have been accused rightfully and they're going through trial, just speak to these people directly, right? I'm going to ask you to just participate in this exercise. I want you to close your eyes and talk directly to that person. So it's not like saying, I would say this to that person. Not that. Speak to the people.
Okay. I would say stay focused, don't give up. I read this book, Think and Grow Rich, and it's a part in the book where it's talking about this dude. He sells everything he has to go to mine for gold, and he's mining. Like weeks go by, and he can't find no gold, and he decides, you know what, fuck this. There's a millionaire that comes into town because this town has a lot of gold. People are coming here to mine. And the millionaire's like, hey, bro, I'll give you a few bucks for all the machine. He's like, fuck it, take the machine. Bro gets the machine, and he goes and he gets back to digging in the same area that the other dude was, just 3 inches away from where his little spot was, right? And he finds the gold. So I would say, shit, keep going. Like, learn yourself. It's hard right now, and it's going to be hard later. You just got to learn yourself. Focus and keep going. Don't stop 3 inches before gold. Like, everybody got gold in them. You feel me? You just got to tap into yourself first. Once you learn to tap into yourself, everything else is easy because your creator got you. Like, not going to let you lose. Right. That's what I had to learn in my life. Like, I can't lose. Like, literally everything I ever wanted or needed, I got. You know what I mean? I can't lose. So if you can just tap into yourself, learn yourself, and focus on what you have control of, focus on your circle of influence, and just let the rest play out. Doors gonna open. They always do. They have to. It don't matter what you're doing, whether it's good or bad, them doors gonna open for you. You just gotta stay focused, lock in. Don't quit. Like, it's the easiest thing in the world to quit. You can always quit. Why stop now? It's like, you know what I mean? Just keep going. It's gonna be rocky. It's gonna be hard. But it's also gonna be sweet, beautiful as fuck at the end of it. Once you see what you was capable of doing.
All right, man. Amen. Amen. Amen.
I love it.
Yes, sir. Why don't you do this real quick? Tell us what you're into today. Tell everybody how they can reach you, and then we'll go from there.
So these days, I'm finding sponsors and stuff because I have a few people that are encouraging and sponsoring me to go to law school. So I've been trying to find sponsors. And before I went to jail, I was managing artists and setting up shows and things like that. So I'm getting back into that. I have a big concert I'm working on putting together for January 20th and a showcase as a part of that. And then following the concert, I have a mini tour, Atlanta, Texas, and Louisiana mini tour planning to put together. Aside from that, I'm getting back on my personal training. I have a meal prep business that I'm going to launch January, and I have a clothing brand that I'm going to launch January. Just, I just keep myself busy. All the things that I was doing before, all the things that I planned to do while I was down, like I got out and took off running. Like, everybody's like, man, you need to take a break. You need to take some time for yourself, for your mind. I can't do that.
You shouldn't. What's your social media?
My social media, so I'm on Instagram. It's CG8 Revere. That's my Instagram.
One more time for us. So
CG8 Revere. And that's probably like the fastest way to communicate with me, honestly.
Okay.
'Cause I'm still having a hard time dealing with emails and
Yeah, you're gonna get to it. You're gonna get to it. It's gonna come to you.
Devontae has court December 6th. If you're in San Marcos, Austin, San Antonio area, please show up to the courthouse. December 6th. He has a bond hearing, and bro coming home that day. I'm speaking right now. Bro coming home that day, December 6th.
Speak it into existence.
That's a Wednesday, right?
It's either a Wednesday or a Tuesday.
December 6th is a Wednesday. I had an invite to go meet with a men's group. And the men's group is meeting, I believe, in Addison. So what I'm going to do with this men's group is I'll talk to them and let them. I'll send my son over there so he can meet with them. Mm-hmm. This is a group of men that are rooted and grounded in the faith. Also, they are entrepreneurs and they share a lot of information with each other, encouragement, things like that. So I'm going to send my son over there, and then I'm not sure if you're going to go December 6th, but if you go, then I'll meet you down there to go, stand in place with Devontae.
Yeah, y'all be there for sure.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll be there with you by the grace of God. Yeah. So we'll see each other. If at no other time, we'll see each other December 6th.
Yes, sir.
And so let's get his first and last name. I'm not sure if you know the the court number and all that so that we can show up for him.
Devontae Amerson is the court number is courtroom 8, I believe.
Oh, that's a small little city. It's courtroom number 8. I was in 262. So if that tell you anything, that Houston's something huge.
Small city, crazy courthouse. Like if you're interested in the law, go watch that courthouse. I literally, because I go there often now, because like I said, I'm observing. I'm finna go to law school, so I just go just to see like what not to do.
Right.
It's a whole lot of shit in here going on.
Right. right.
I'm in there one time for one of my friends' court date, because I still keep up with the people that I fuck with when I was there.
Yes, sir.
I'm in there for his court date.
Yes, sir.
And I'm watching this court-appointed attorney go to the judge. He's like, man, I gotta go. I can't stay here. Like, I got a client, but I need to go do this, da-da-da-da. And the judge like, nah, bro, you need to stay here. Bro fakes a seizure in the courtroom and runs out the courtroom.
He fakes a
Fakes a seizure in the courtroom and runs out the courtroom. This is an attorney, court-appointed attorney. And this guy is allegedly one of the good ones out there.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Tough
Like,
times.
that's the type of things that's going on in
Right.
like, these people's lives they're playing with.
Tough times, man. So when Cyrus came today, well, first, Ken, you want to give any little points or anything like that? I know you always got a little bit of wisdom, or if you're good, then we'll.
I was going to say the first one was, I'm glad you explained why you knew what December 6th was.
Okay.
Because first I thought you was Rain Man. You were like, December 6th, that's a Wednesday. I'm like, bro, how you know that? Like,
I should have left it alone.
but the second one was, like when people think Rebuilding Futures, we talk about Rebuilding Futures, a podcast.
Yeah.
They're thinking we're saying rebuilding futures. How are you going to rebuild your future? And it kind of is, but it's two words. And because I'm a financial person, I love the fact that futures, when you're talking about the stock market, stock market and futures, you can set a price for something in the future and they have to agree to buy it at that price.
Right.
So when we're talking about the podcast, I'm saying you can set a price for yourself 10 years ahead of time. Yeah, and you're obligated to meet me where I'm at right then. So when we're talking about rebuilding futures, I want everybody to know, even especially for you, right now, you can set a life for you.
Yeah.
15 years ahead of time, 20 years ahead of time. This is who I will be on that day, and everybody else has to respond to you where you are. That's what futures is in the stock market. I'm gonna sell oranges for this much 2 years later, and someone agrees to buy it for that much and ever obligated to that price. So I want you to think of that as well. It's not whatever happened to you.
Yeah.
And I say that because you're like the same age as my son. I coach a lot of little boys, so it's like, man, to see that happen in 2 years is, I don't know if you saw me over, I have to keep lowering my head because I'm like, good grief, that's unimaginable.
Yeah, 29.
But you can take whatever's happened to you, and now this is who I'll be in 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
And all of y'all are obligated to respect me, treat me, and respond to me like that. That's it, Aaron?
All right. So when I met Cyrus today, the first thing I did was greet him and his brother, and I offered him a book. The book is written by a man named Mike Terry. The title of the book is Get Driven, and it's a 6-step success pathway, 6-step success system. So the reason that I offered him that book is because I've been following the success of this gentleman, Mike Terry, and I'm impressed by his accomplishments. And so, I try to do the best thing that I can is pay homage where it is due. And so that's one way that I'm paying homage to Mike Terry. This is a really dynamic person. I can tell that he is very family oriented and he supports people that are just like him or have a lot of similarities. And so when I think about Cyrus's circumstance, I see a lot of similarities to my own life, kind of living in a decades spanned parallel in some cases, and just having someone in front of me or having someone close to me that is going through some of the same things that I went through, I have concern for those people. There's also a young man named Malik Pryor who is in the county jail in Bexar County right now, and he's accused of murder, and he was also not arrested on the scene. It was over a year later when he was arrested and taken for things that had nothing to do with the murder, and then, all of a sudden it's the murder charge, and he's awaiting his trial right now, and there's a lot of decision make. So when people have big circumstances around me and we share similarities, my heart is knitted to them, and I want to do the best that I can. Following the pathway of Mike Terry has been something that's been a blessing in my life, and so I pass that along to Cyrus, in hopes that it could be a blessing for him as well. So big shout out to Mike Terry and everything that he's doing with the Mike Terry Auto Group and, all of his successes in his family, and we wish you the absolute best. So the moments that we share in life are not always pleasant. The pleasant moments that we have, we cherish and we hold near and dear to our heart. But there's something about the times of adversity that change us forever. There's something about having a hurdle or an obstacle to overcome that takes who we are, makes us put everything that we're worth in front of it and do something different to have a projected outcome. And so as people are going through circumstances out there that may not have anything to do with incarceration, that may not have anything to do with the loss of life or a legal battle, but you're just going through something that is tough for you to deal with, we hope that you draw off of our stories and know that adversity doesn't have an address. It's a floating force, and it continues to go throughout the world. The Bible describes the devil as a roaring lion roaming about seeking who he may devour. Adversity is very similar, because in the Bible, you'll see that the devil is called the adversary. And so if you're going through some things that are adverse to your lifestyle, adverse to your success, adverse to your mental health, there's a few things that you got to do. Number one, we both discussed that we had a moment of pause. And so we encourage you to pause today. We encourage you to pause tomorrow. We encourage you to pause the next day and pause for as many moments as you need to, so that you can take a really good inventory of yourself, the circumstance, and whatever it may be, so that you can get through it. I have a practice that I'll share with you in closing. If I realize that something is too big for me to handle and has the potential to overtake me, I will not continue to press myself through it. I'll take one moment of pause, step aside, acknowledge the fact that it can overtake me, and choose to not run through it, but take an inventory of all the ways that I think that it could overtake me, so that the next time I run into that situation, I'm very well prepared. The first time you run into something that you can't handle, you're caught off guard. The second time, you're just unprepared. And so we encourage you to prepare yourself as you rebuild your future and you take steps towards success. Thank you to Mike Terry for giving us a blueprint and an outline. All you have to do is press, press, press.
Yeah.
Want to give a big shout out to Cyrus. Want to thank you for coming in, sharing your story with us, and lending your time. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll definitely be together in support of Devontae. And if at no other time, we'll see you December 6th, my brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you for coming out, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on.